One of the most iconic Stratocasters in history has to be the Monterey Pop Stratocaster. If you are an electric guitar player and fan of Jimi Hendrix, chances are you most likely have seen this very psychedelically designed guitar. If you aren't familiar with this guitar in association with Jimi Hendrix, then most likely you've seen John Mayer or Kenny Wayne Shepherd play this guitar as well. But what exactly is the history of this guitar? Let's find out. The Monterey Pop Festival was on June 18, 1967, and this guitar, whether you have seen it or not, is from the iconic photo of Jimi Hendrix on his knees burning his guitar live on stage. The story goes that Hendrix and Townsend from The Who were playing guitar backstage, and they ended up flipping a coin to see who would go first. The Who ended up winning the coin toss and thus performed before Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix, who was determined to outdo the performance, decided to drop to his knees, squirted lighter fluid, and proceeded to light the guitar on fire. The reason why you only see pieces is because he also smashed it and threw some of the parts into the crowd. You can see a fragment of it at the Experience Music Project in Seattle, Washington. Believe it or not, the Monterey Pop Strat that Hendrix destroyed was a cheaper instrument from 1965. At this same show, Hendrix also used a black 1966 Fender Stratocaster that he couldn't bring himself to destroy. So for the last song on the show, he decided to switch guitars to the Monterey Strat, which was the one that went up in flames and was smashed into pieces. The Monterey Pop Strat was only played once, and yet is one of the most iconic guitars and designs in history. So this particular Strat was actually hand-painted by Jimi Hendrix himself the night before, utilizing nail polish. This was indeed a one-of-a-kind guitar and makes sense as to why the leftover fragment is on display. This guitar was a hand-painted piece of art from the legend himself. In a classic legend fashion, he took the guitar after performing and smashed it and then sacrificed it. Fender Custom Shop was later to release their own version of this guitar. In 1997, Pamelina H. was tasked by Fender Custom Shop to do a hand-painted design in celebration of the 30th year of the Monterey Pop Festival. The only reference that she had in order to get the design down was a copy of the festival on VHS, which she watched in frames. The reproduction of this guitar was a limited run series only. The final design of the guitar was approved by Jimi Hendrix, Jimi's sister. It has an alder body, a C-shaped maple neck, and a rosewood fretboard, as well as vintage tuners and 3 vintage-style pickups. The backstage pass was over the body of the guitar, which is an indicator of the limited run series, and there was also a laminated copy of the backstage pass included with the guitar. Fender more recently released a made in Mexico Stratocaster Artist Series Jimi Hendrix Monterey Strat as well, but this is not to be confused with the very pricey and very hard to find original custom shop Monterey Pop guitar, hand painted by Pamelina H. Many others have tried recreating and putting their own spin on this Strat by either buying Strats and repainting them themselves, or straight up buying ones already hand painted but just not authentic official Fender releases. It's cool to know that a guitar that had such little airtime is so popular. Whether you have an official Fender release, or the made in Mexico release, or some version that was painted to look similar enough. Though Hendrix may be long gone, his influence in music still lives on in the fans, and the creativity of his fans as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
This is a great one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I actually just saw, I think it was Emerald City just sold one of these guitars. I don't know how much they sold it for, but I think, I gotta look at my number here. And so it's the Jimi Hendrix Monterey Pop Strat that Fender did in the late 90s. This is all like hand painted. I think the lady's name was Pamelina, I believe, that did the artwork. I think John Mayer has one. Actually, he told me when I saw him at one of the shows, I think I was out on the road with Aerosmith at the time, but he told me that he saw me playing one of these, and that's why he went and got it.
Oh, really?
Right? And he plays his, I play mine, but just about everybody else, they just look at them because they're beautiful, but they actually sound great too.